told that women should not expose themselves in front of men. Their beauty should only be seen by their husbands. Otherwise, Allah will punish them.
They interpreted Islam to me in such a way that I should think in that way. That is how they were interpreting this should be the final decision. This is the ultimate truth. Islam is the ultimate truth, and Allah is the only one God to be worshipped, and I should follow strictly what Muhammad done in his lifetime, and what the Muslim woman should do in her lifetime, that I should do.
Namaste, I'm Deepthi. Religious conversions are not new to India. People have converted from Sanatan Dharma to other faiths for a multitude of reasons. Maybe monetary, sometimes due to lack of answers in their own faith, and sometimes due to coercion. In today's interview, we'll talk to three lovely women who have traveled the full circle to understand their journey through other faiths and back to Sanatan Dharma. They're all a part of Arsha Vidya Samajam, an organization based in Tirunanthapuram with the very important mission of educating people about Sanatan Dharma. Our first guest is Shruti. She is the first woman pracharika at Arsha Vidya Samajam, dedicating her life to the mission of taking Sanatan Dharma to the world. She returned to Sanatan Dharma 8 years ago through this organization after converting into and practicing Islam for 5 years. She has also authored a book in Malayalam detailing her experience. Our second guest is Anagha Jayagopal. She is a physiotherapist by profession and leads the creative team at Arsha Vidya Samajam. Coming from a very conservative Hindu family, Anagha converted to Islam owing to a void that is common in Hindu Dharma and the way it is practiced today. Having practiced Islam for 6 years, she came back to Sanatan Dharma through Arsha Vidya Samajam. Our third guest today is Vishali Shetty. She was once an agnostic and she turned into an Islamic sympathizer, and she returned to Sanatan Dharma through Arsha Vidya Samajam. Having been convinced of the magnitude of the mission that the Samajam has undertaken, she chose to be a Sanatan Dharma Pracharika with AVS. With her prior experience in IT, she drives the technical and marketing activities at AVS. Shruti, Anagha, and Vishali, very, very warm welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Deepthi.
So, Shruti and Anagha, maybe we'll start with you. How did your conversion out of Sanatan Dharma happen?
First of all, I would like to thank Infinity to giving such an opportunity to speak in front of the large audience, to speak about my experience, to speak about my mother organization. Thank you again. And the question is how the experience happened in my life, and how I could come back. I was born in a Brahmin family, Havyak Brahmin family in Kasaragod district of Kerala. Since childhood, as I born in a Brahmin family, I underwent different rituals. Lots of rituals I could see, but I could attend, but I was unaware about its scientific reasons, scientific things behind the rituals, ceremonies, everything. Since childhood itself, I had a questioning mind in me, and I used to ask elder people what is the science behind it, what is the story behind all these rituals, all these ceremonies which we are conducting here in our home or in temples or in any other relatives' homes and all. But unfortunately, as Brahmin caste is full of restrictions towards women, why I don't know why people are restricting such things from women. I had to experience such restrictions. My father was saying, no, women are not have the right to question like this. Whatever things is practicing from our ancestors, whatever our ancestors were doing, that we are doing also, and we are not supposed to question that. What we have to follow that only. That was I was getting answer that time. And later on, when my parents, or I won't blame my parents, because they don't know what the thing is, because their elders didn't teach them. So they also in same situation what I'm experiencing. So I have no right to blame them. So this was happening. So my parents and the elders are in the opinion that ladies or women are not supposed to question, or women are not supposed to learn Vedas, or they are not supposed to pronounce Veda mantras like that. So later on, I got a fear in my mind to ask questions, because these restrictions, these objections, everything, and scolding also I was getting. So I stopped asking. The questions kept in my mind unanswered. And later, when I was watching Om Namah Shivaya and like television serials were done, no, I was knowing about something about Hinduism just only through these television serials only. The concept of God or anything like that, I was knowing just because of these television serials. So when I was watching those serials, I used to ask why Parvati Devi and all other goddesses are called as mother. Why Sri Parameshwara is not called as father? He's called just like Prabhu. Why it is so? So I got an answer from my elders that in Hinduism, we can call any woman mother, but we can't call any male or any gentleman as father. We can call only one person as father. That is what that is the conservative thought I got as answer. So I couldn't continue the questioning and all. Those questions kept in my mind. And time went. uh, I stopped asking everything. These questions were in my mind, and I was experiencing casteism somewhere in my family. And my father was a little bit caste conscious. And I grew up hearing we are Brahmins, and not like we are Hindus. I never heard such a word in anywhere. I came to know about this name Hindu only when I fill up any school or any application forms. We can fill the what is your religion? The question we will fill Hindu. Then only I'll use that name. I never heard such a word in my life till I come to Arsha Vidya Samajam. So likewise, time went during my graduation period. Unfortunately, in my BA literature class, BA English literature class, there was full of Muslim classmates. I had that Muslim girlfriends. Okay, so from them I got this Islamic influence, and they taught me what is Islam. At the very first, I hadn't any notion about conversion and all, but they used to ask about my religion, about the concept of God in my religion. They used to ask why you people are having this much of gods, and why you are worshipping a monkey god, why you are worshipping elephant head god. Likewise, lots of questions they asked. As I'm ignorant about all these things, I couldn't answer properly. So it generated a type of inferiority complex in me. And anyhow, I tried to ignore their questions, ignore them, but I could ignore only people. The questions which all they asked were in my mind. So the questions I had since childhood again came to my mind, and it began to haunt me. Gradually, I was thinking that I am not getting any answer for all these questions. I'm not able to answer for all these questions. So there is no system in my good system in my mother religion. There is no facility to know all these things. So this is simply waste. Likewise, I was thinking, they made me think like that by interpreting interpreting in a wrong way about Hinduism. And they began to teach their religion. They began to give me pamphlets, books, series of speeches of this religion regarding all Islamic religion topics like that. Time went, the studies went on, and I was thinking that Islam is the ultimate truth, and my quest to know about the truth is going to fulfill by learning about Islam. Likewise, I was feeling that time, because already they understood my concepts, my viewpoints regarding that. I hadn't I was not a person uh, believing in lots of so many gods. I was believing in a single god. uh, i never uh, I never felt that it's that single god's name is Allah or any other name, but I was in such a view that there is only one god. And other my viewpoint on women was very high, that women are not supposed to suppress, women are not supposed to downtrodden. They should get equal status in society with men. They should get equal status. The atrocities, everything is happening towards women. I was against to those all things. So they interpreted Islam to me in such a way that I should think in that way. That is how they were interpreting. That was similar to my viewpoints. That is how they interpreted. So finally, I thought this is the final. This should be the final decision. This is the ultimate truth. Islam is the ultimate truth, and Allah is the only one God to be worshipped. And I should follow strictly what Muhammad done in his lifetime, and what the Muslim woman should do in her lifetime, that I should do. And I should be the very perfect believer, very perfect follower of Islam. Likewise, I was thinking. My brain went like that. My thoughts changed to in that way. So I began to do namaz. I began to practice I began to do rosa. Likewise, it went on. Later, I came to know from my friends and colleagues. I was teacher also. After post graduation, I was teaching in 2-3 Muslim management schools. From the students and colleagues helped me to learn about Islam, and from my colleagues and some students, and from a few Muslim friends, and from some texts, I came to know that if my namaz and rosa should be accepted, I should accept Islam legally. So I decided to uh, go out from my home, and I done the same. I went out from my home, lying in my home with my parents, and I joined in Ponnani Maunatul Islam Sabha 8 years back. And it is in Malappuram district. It is also called as Mini Mecca. And I underwent a 2 months course there, Islamic course. From there also, I was getting teachings which is against our country. They were teaching me like not only to me, but the all students who were undergoing that Islamic course. They were teaching like this is not our country. This is the country of Hindu people. Here Hindus only residing. Our country is Saudi Arabia, where Prophet Muhammad born and brought up. We are supposed to live there. Then only we can live as perfect Muslim woman. Likewise, they were teaching. So I was during that time. I was thinking that I have to go out from India. I have to go Saudi Arabia, like countries, and I have to preach Islam till my last breath. I have to convert my parents, my entire family. Likewise, my mission was that I decided to live like that. So for Islam, I was ready to do anything. If I have to kill a person for Islam, if I have to kill a person, if he is against Islam, I was ready. That was that much. My brain was that much brainwashing was happened towards me. And during that time, my parents put a missing complaint in my native place, and with the help of police and some native people, they could identify me that I'm learning Islam there in Ponnani. So with the help of police, they brought me back from there. And in front of in court also, in front of magistrate, I told I have to go back to Ponnani. I have to live like a woman. I have to learn Islam more, and all my parents should come. Likewise, I was saying, but my parents' situation was very pathetic. If I didn't say that for just for 2 days, I will go with my parents would have died that moment itself. There was a bottle in my father's hand during I was speaking with the magistrate. That bottle was poison bottle. So if I said something against that, that I now itself I have to go to Ponnani again, my father would have drunk that poison and I would have lost my parents that moment itself. So maybe because of uh, mm, the good deeds done in my earlier birth, I could say that for just for 2 days I will go with my parents. That 2 days changed my life. They took me to uh, uh, an astrologist. From from him they got an advice that make her vomit, and some drinks they gave me, some medicinal drinks. I drank, I vomited, but the ideologies which is what influenced my mind kept on there itself. Something by what I ate at the morning time that went out, that much only. They thought that some black magic happened on me. To the viewers and to the all, I would like to say, what is learned will be kept there itself in our brain. Vomiting will not be a solution for that. And please don't take someone to any astrologist or any such a Ayurvedic treatment like that. If someone is caught under custody of any Islamic preachers like that. Okay. And after that, my parents, with the help of some Hindu organizations, brought me to Arsha Vidya Samajam. While I was coming to Arsha Vidya Samajam, some people who are bringing me to here were very in a very lots of things they were speaking. They were saying that Arsha Vidya Samajam is an institution there all people are changing, and there is an acharya, it's a director, Acharya Manoji is like that. He is a great personality. He could bring back a lot of people. He could change lots of people's life, and he have such power. And likewise, they were interpreting him. They were explaining about him, describing about him. Then I decided I should meet him. Who is that person? I should meet him, and I would be great if I could change that person himself to Islam. That is what I felt that time. So I was waiting to meet Acharya Manoji to convert him to Islam. At that time, unfortunately, but now I feel fortunately. I met him, and I told him, "Don't call me." I very arrogantly I behaved towards Manoji and our Guruji. I told, "Don't call me as Shruti. call me like Rahmat, it is my name, and I accepted Islam, and I would like to speak with you only based on Quran only. I don't want to listen to your Vedas, Gitas, and all these things are not my religious textbook. All these things are haram to me. I don't want to listen about that. I would like to speak about Quran only. That is what I said that time, with very, not like this, but very arrogantly. Very patiently, very calmly, he smilingly he told, okay, if you would like to call you like if you would like call you like Rahmat, I'm ready to call Rahmat, no problem. Name doesn't matter. Please, with the patience, you listen and you speak, and as a human being you think, not like a blind believer of Islam or blind follower of Islam, not like a blind criticizer of Islam, not like in that state. You just as a human being listen and speak, show the patience to listen and show the patience to speak. Likewise, he advised me that time. Again, Ishvara's hands began to work from behind me, I think, and I could listen to him. And he never advised me, never taught me anything. He just made me read Quran again as a human being. That much he done that time. He told me each verses from Quran he showed and told me, just read it. Just read it as a human being and use your intellect and use your reasoning power and compare with the concept of God as a human being. You may be having a concept of God, and compare it with that. That moment I was feeling that the I was having a concept earlier. My friends and colleagues, everyone were interpreting all concept regarding Islam, ideologies regarding Islam, everything similar to my concept. But what is written in the religious text like Quran is entirely different. Woman, I was having a respect towards the women, and the woman is pictured in a different way, in a what I say, in a downtrodden way. It Women are pictured in Quran, chapter 2 23. If my memory is correct, chapter 2 23 is there. Women are compared to agricultural land. How pathetic it is, I was feeling. And my ego was not agreeing to not allowing me to agree what Acharyaji is saying. I tried to argue with him, but he again showed patience. Okay, leave about that verse. Let us see about what is further written in there. So one by one verses he made me read, and I could realize what wrong I did. During my Islamic belief and all was, I got influenced to Islam. I done a lot of uh, bad deeds towards Hinduism. I used to spit in temple courtyard. When my parents compelled me to go to temple, I went to temple without any what I say, any belief or any affection towards temple or any affection towards Hinduism. I stood in front of Shivalinga, thinking that it is not a idol, it is just a stone, or it is symbol to male genital part. Likewise, I was thinking they interpreted like that, no? So I was thinking that like that. I scolded once my mother. I beaten my mother once just because she is kafir and I don't want to eat food from kafir's hand. She compelled me to eat. That too, she prepared with love and care what is I like. What is my favorite food that she prepared, and with love and care she gave me. I opposed it and I beaten her also. And when she compelled me to pray, I argued with her, I screamed with her, I shouted with her. Lots of things happened during that time when Islamic beliefs was undergoing that time, during that time. Later, when I realized that all these things I did just for this fake inhuman religion, it was very pathetic, my situation that time. If I say the only because of our Guruji come back to life. Just for a moment, I thought to suicide also. If I went to my home, into my native place that time, I would have done suicide at least, or else I would have already. I'm a sinful person now. So why should I live with a good people or in a good religion? I should live a sinful life ahead. That much my mind disturbed, and mentally I was that much such a situation. So that moment, our Guruji and other teachers in Arsha Vidya Samajam and Arsha Vidya Samajam and its courses here, everything helped me to come back to Sanatana Dharma, and the hard work our Guruji and all other teachers are doing made me to think, why should I put my steps backward? I should move ahead. Why should I change my decision of preaching truth to the people? I realized what is truth. This is the ultimate truth, that is Sanatana Dharma, the everlasting dharma which is given by Lord Sri Parameshwara and through Rishi Paramparas. Why should I think that, as usually all people think, I got rescued and I should live with my parents? Why should I think like that? I should come forward, because there are lots of women, lots of people are day by day converting to such fake religions. Why should I allow them? They are all my parents, all my sisters and brothers. They are all my family members. Why should I learn Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam if I am not ready to practice that? Why should I learn? Why did I learn Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu if I'm not ready to practice that? So I should practice. I should come forward. I should be with our Guruji, and he have a mission to spread Sanatana Dharma to the entire world. And the Lord Sri Parameshwara's words are there, no. That is Krinvanto Vishwamaryam. Make the entire universe noble through filling noble persons. How can this possible? Only through understood, realized people come in front to. Only if we such people coming in front, then only people can understand. Lots of women ancestors are there. Not only women, our ancestors are there who are under clutches of these black religions. I would like to call as a black evil. We have to save them. For that, we have to preach what is the real Sanatana Dharma ideologies. As Swami Vivekananda told years back, there should be a time when Sanatana, the ideologies, rules, and philosophies, everything related to Sanatana Dharma should reach to the each and every Hindus, either it be rich people, either it be poor people, that doesn't matter. But each and every Hindu human being's heart should be filled with these ideologies related to Sanatana Dharma, philosophies related to Sanatana Dharma. Then only we can say that we are Hindus. So that should be fulfilled only through this, completing this mission of our Acharyaji. So that moment I requested him, please accept me as your disciple, and I would like to be with you as other disciples with you, and I like to be a shadow of you. Likewise, I requested him. He objected a lot. He told, no, it is not supposed, it is not a good path to a woman like a girl like you. There are lots of opportunities waiting for you. You are educated. You may get a good salary based job. you have experience like a teacher. You can go out, you can live with your parents. Likewise, he advised a lot, he suggested a lot. Maybe what should I say, he was testing about my decision, maybe, I don't know, uh, still now. But whatever he said, he told me, you have future, you go with your parents, uh, lots of proposals will come, you can marry, you can live like others, you go. Likewise he advised. But uh, I was not in such a mind that I need a marriage, I should live with my husband and children. Everyone thinks like that, no? Nobody is thinking like this. Nobody is thinking to spare their life for others. So I decided that time that all advices came towards me like boosting my decision. I told him, no, I don't want any marriage. I don't want to live such a life. I would like to be a shadow, just like other disciples are shadows to you. I would like to be with you to fulfill your mission. I would like to be a full-time worker here in Arshavidya Samajam. So from then onwards, I am here. It is happening 80 years, and I am happy and contentful. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shruti ji. Thanks so much for sharing that very personal journey. So it's really, really commendable that you've always been a seeker, right? And we can see that there was a void in our faith. So you always had questions, and because of lack of answers, you had to, and you were at that time seeking answers, and then wherever you at that point found some answers, you moved to that faith. So I think you're doing a very important mission of providing those answers to seekers right now through Arsha Vidya Samajam, and helping people understand and know about our dharma in general. So thank you very much for sharing your story. Let's move to Anagha, and we'll come back to you. Anagha, we'd love to know how your journey happened out of the dharma and back into it as well.
Thank you, Infinity Foundation, for giving us an opportunity to share our experiences. I'm from Thrissur, Kerala. I too was born into an Orthodox Brahmin family. From the very young age itself, I grew up seeing a lot of rituals that doesn't make any senses to me. Whenever I questioned about this, my parents used to say that just because our ancestors had done this, we are also following the same. Obviously, I was not satisfied with their answers. I completed my school days from a convent school. Hence, I grew up with the misconception that all religions are one. After that, I did my higher secondary studies in a government school. There, I came to know that during Fridays, all government schools offer Muslim students an extra 1 hour for their Juma namas. I was still wondered why this kind of a bias even from a government school. I thought that there should be something special in this religion, and I had a curiosity to know more about it. I also noticed that my Muslim friends had a good knowledge and strong commitment to their religion, so I tried to know more about Islam. At that time, I hadn't any intention to convert. Islamic ideology influenced me strongly during my college days. I studied physiotherapy from Ernakulam. I was staying there in a hostel, and most of my roommates were Muslims. During casual and formal conversations, religion also became our topic. They asked me many questions for which honestly I don't have answers. Like, why do you have so many gods? Why are you worshipping stones and idols? Why Ganapati is having elephant's head? Is Hanuman a monkey? So and so. I got confused and I asked these questions to my parents and relatives, but I didn't get any satisfying answers. So I started to study more about Hinduism from internet. The videos I watched had contents like Atma, Paramatma, Brahma, which was beyond my grasp. I couldn't see any sources in the internet which gives us a satisfying answers about Hinduism. Slowly, I came to the conclusion that there is nothing right in Hinduism. At the same time, my friends started to share the ideology of Islam. They said it was the religion of peace and Muhammad is the last prophet and only guide for the whole humanity. They boasted about their holy book, the Quran, that it is 1400 years old and it has lots of scientific facts which the world is realizing now. No one had the power to change it, that it will be protected by Allah till the end of the world. They also shared me the videos of Zakir Naik, Imam Akbar, etc., to slowly convert me to Islam. They also introduced me about the heaven and hell and also the idea of covering my body and head. They told that women should not expose themselves in front of men. Their beauty should only be seen by their husbands. Otherwise, Allah will punish them. So, at the end of 4 years, I was totally brainwashed and I decided that I definitely will convert. And then the environment where I worked was also favorable for my Islamic studies and also practicing prayers and all. To some of my close patients, when I revealed the idea of converting, they seemed to be very happy and they also promised me all kind of help. They offered me financial help and even some of them even told they are ready to marry me. The fear of torments of hell increased day by day, and after 2 years of my career life, I decided to convert. I resigned from my job and went to my home. I told my parents and sisters that I'm going to convert. I even tried to convert my little sister, and my parents and sisters were shocked to see the change in my behavior and dressing. It was actually the worst 6 months of my life. I changed completely. I started to do namas in my home. I got irritated whenever I missed my namas. I stopped singing, dancing, watching movies, hearing songs. Even I forgot to smile. I was afraid of everything. That even if I do a small mistake, Allah is going to punish me cruelly. Some of the Hindu activists came to know this and they connected my parents with Arshavidya Samajam. And thus I came to Varshavidya Samajam with my sisters. First 2 day, teachers of Arshavidya Samajam spoke with me. I understood the foolish theory of Islam to a certain extent, but was not completely satisfied. And on the third day, Acharya Sri Kyan Manuji, founder and director of Arshavidya Samajam, directly spoke with me with valid proof from the Quran and Hadith. On that day, I realized how dangerous is the concept of Islam and the glory of Hindu Dharma. And the day itself, I decided to dedicate my whole life for Sanatana Dharma and became the full timer of Arshavidya Samajam. Only by coming to Arshavidya Samajam and meeting Acharyaji, I realized my mistake. I was amazed with the knowledge Acharyaji had in the in each subject. Through his knowledge and observational research, Acharyaji created a syllabus for the study of Sanatana Dharma, which is simple as that a small child above 5 years also can understand the concept. And after that, I realized the greatness of this mission of Arshavidya Samajam to spread the Sanatana Dharma all over the world. And I dedicated my life to fulfill Acharyaji's mission.
Thank you so much, Anaga. How did your family react when you converted? Was there any opposition? Like, how did you handle that?
Actually, they were broken, and my parents were at the verge of suicide. They cried in front of me that please don't go away. That if I go, they will surely they will do suicide. But their words and tears doesn't even change my decision. I said this is the right path. This is the path that everyone should follow. If you are not following this, I'm not responsible for your fate. I was adamant in my decision, and nothing could change me. That too, that was actually intolerant to my parents, and they were broken completely.
So, how long were you in the Islamic faith? How long were you?
Actually, I have been studying about Islam for the 5 years, and for the last 1 year, after resigning my job, I was in home, and that time I was completely living as a Muslim woman. Like my
Mhm.
dressing was changed. I was wearing hijab. I was doing namas, and I completely avoided hearing songs, TVs, watching movies. I was a dancer. I completely dropped dancing, singing, everything. I was
Mhm.
completely living like a ideal Islamic woman.
So, what was it that actually kind of triggered you to start coming back, or was there an event, or what was it that made you want to listen to Guruji at AVS?
Actually, while I was stepping out of my home to that is coming to Arshavidya Samajam. Before coming to Arshavidya Samajam, I told my parents that after I get out from Arshavidya Samajam, either I will be a complete Hindu or a complete Muslim. I can't live in between that. So, and I also said that I'm ready to accept the truth. I have no problem to accept the truth, whatever, but it should be logical and it should satisfy my questions. That was only condition I applied before coming to Arshavidya Samajam. So, when I came here, first of all, Acharya ji talked to me about Quran and Hadith. He explained about Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad, and his deeds, everything. And I understood the illogical things, unscientific facts, everything in the Quran. I accepted. But still, I have so many doubts about Sanatana Dharma. Even I asked them, and I got very satisfying logical answers from Acharya and slowly he told that why Arshavidya Samajam is functioning. And he told that Arshavidya Samajam is functioning or it is mainly to spread the Sanatana Dharma all over the world. It is the mission of Arshavidya Samajam or Acharya ji. And I understood that it is this how much important in this world that that Sanatana Dharma should exist, and I became the part of Arshavidya Samajam, and I want to dedicate my whole life to Acharya to fulfill his mission.
Thank you, Anaga. So, do you know of any other person that was converted? Like, is this a real issue? Do you think it's very widely spread?
Actually, before coming to Arshavidya Samajam, I thought it is not much serious issue because every Indian citizen have the right to choose the right decision, right? So I didn't think that it is a serious issue. But after coming to Arshavidya Samajam, I understood that conversion is undoubtedly a serious issue. To be more precise, conversion to Semitic religion is definitely a serious issue. The separatist movements in the northeastern states of India, the condition of Pakistan, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, which were once a part of us, are proof to this. Once someone has converted, the language of logic, humanity, science, etc., becomes irrelevant to them. What Muhammad made forbidden is unlawful to them, and what Muhammad made permissible is halal or lawful to them. They have no other metric. If Muhammad had done something, then they have no hesitation to follow his example. Unfortunately, Muhammad has set a very bad example. This is clearly indicated in the Quran, Hadith, Sirah, Tariqul Islam, and other authentic texts of Islam. And the history and the current day happenings are also evidence to this. That is why Swami Vivekananda had rightly said that conversion of a person into any Semitic religion is not just loss of one person, but the generation of an enemy itself. And we have seen so many cases of conversion that lead to extremism and terrorism. And how the turns against not just his family, but against the society, culture, dharma, and the nation itself, and becomes intolerant.
That's a very interesting point. So I have a lot of friends that are Muslims, but I don't find them being so against Hinduism or anything. But like you mentioned, people who get converted become more radical. Do you know why that is? Like, have you observed that as well?
Actually, the thing I want to say that is, if a Muslim is behaving good to you, good to other religion people, then he hadn't studied Quran perfectly. An ideal Muslim can't be tolerant to other religion, because an ideal Muslim is the one who follows everything, each and everything what Muhammad does. What Muhammad does. So if they are following what Muhammad does, they can't be tolerant to other religion. I'm saying that if you have friends that are good to you, they are not reading Quran or they are not following Quran perfectly. That's why.
So, based on your experience, how and where does conversion happen?
Christians have Sunday schools, and they also have systematic courses to teach their religion. And also, Muslims have madrasas where they are properly teaching their students about their religion. But when we come to Hinduism, we can say that we are not having any systematic syllabus or systematic courses to teach our students about what Hinduism is or real Sanatana Dharma is. That is the main problem we are facing. From my experience, I can say that only because of the unawareness of my religion, my Sanatana Dharma, is the only thing that led me to the study of Islam or to the conversion.
That's a great point. Mainly because of lack of answers in our own religion, we start looking outside, and
Yeah.
however false the answers might be in the other religion, at least there is some answers that they provide, and this becomes a way for people to get converted as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Anaga. It was very insightful. I'm very happy to introduce Vishali Shetty. Vishali Shetty was once an agnostic who was drawn strongly towards Islam. Vishali returned to Sanatan Dharma through Arsha Vidya Samajam. Having been convinced of the magnitude of the mission that Arsha Vidya Samajam has undertaken, she chose to be a Sanatan Dharma Pracharika with ABS. With her prior experience in IT, she drives the technical and marketing activities of ABS. Welcome, Vishali.
Thank you, Deepti ji.
So, give us a little bit about your background. How and when did you get inspired to join ABS?
Yeah. So since Shruti ji and Anagha ji spoke in detail about their experiences, and my experience too is on the same line. So let me tell you very briefly. I was born in a so-called upper caste Hindu family with a deep RSS background, and like all Hindu families in general, I grew up without any systematic education about my dharma. I was a Hindu because I was born into a Hindu family. I didn't know what it meant. I saw customs and rituals all around me, and if I asked my parents the significance of them, they too didn't have answers to it. They said that it has been followed throughout the generations, and we have to follow them. I found many customs unnecessary, like making huge offerings to deities and all that. And during my school days, since my friends were from diverse Hindu cultures and not very practicing themselves, I grew up to be an agnostic. And by the time I had reached college, I had started questioning and seeking an absolute answer. Surprisingly, I observed that in college, the Muslims and Christians grew more radical day by day. Usually, we think that the more educated you are, the less religious or less radical you become, and you become more progressive. But on the contrary, what I noticed that in my college, probably it's the case with many colleges, but in my college itself, Christians and Muslims grew more radical day by day. Those who used to dress very progressively during the start of college had started covering themselves in hijabs and burqas by the end of college, and they started discussing religion with their classmates and friends, and they started being uh, more disciplined about their prayers, Friday prayers, etc. If we had many of our Muslim classmates took time off on Fridays, a certain time off on Fridays to go to a nearby mosque and pray, and they had an excuse for that. So all this was happening in during my college, and since I always had a spiritual longing, once I completed engineering, I went on to work in an IT company, and most of my immediate colleagues are Muslims. So since I had questions in mind, and through in the course of my discussions with them, I started to get answers from them. Started to get answers from them which seemed to suit my questions, seemed to suit what I was looking for in the way they presented it. It is not right, but the way they presented it seemed to suit what I was looking for. Like in Islam, they say there's only one God. The customs are uniform wherever you go in the world. The customs are universal throughout the world, and all that. So that seemed to convince me a lot, and I started getting drawn towards Islam slowly during my working days. And that's how my inclination into Islam happened. And I wanted to learn it in more detail, and I had started following. I'd started becoming a little anti-Hindu at my home. It was noticeable. I started avoiding praying at home, avoiding praying before idol at home, and things like that. So eventually, I got in touch with Arsha Vidya Samajam, and once I spoke to Acharya Shri K.R. Manojji, he was able to give me convincing answers to all the questions that I was looking for, and what seemed to be right about Islam were what do you say were those baseless arguments. He was able to you know uh, dissect and show that they are false. They are not what they are presented to be.
Very nice.
Yeah, so all those fallacies that I believed about Islam to be true were broken once I came to Arsha Vidya Samajam, and I was convinced that what I had believed in so far about Islam was wrong. And I started studying about Sanatana Dharma, and that's how I came back to Sanatana Dharma through Arsha Vidya Samajam.
That's thank you so much for sharing that. So let's dive into some of the current affairs. You must have heard of the recent conversion bill that's being discussed in Karnataka and also other parts of India. Do you think this is necessary?
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Is there a need for such a bill?
The anti-conversion bill is necessary. We don't say that it's not necessary, but I think the bill might, to a small extent, make the conversion forces a little vigilant, but it could also discourage conversions achieved through money and other allurements. But what we think is the brainwashing strategies are very intense and deep, and most of the conversions these days are more intellectual and ideological, which are achieved through brainwashing. And if we don't adopt a counter stand to it, what we can call as de-brainwashing or anti-indoctrination, the bill will not do much good. Not just that, if this bill is passed, then all steps taken to bring back our brothers and sisters who have converted from Hindu Dharma into other religions also could be seen in a bad light, right? We can't bring back people who have converted from Hindu Dharma into Islam or Christianity. So we are not sure what provisions the bill has for that, though. And the vested interest could easily claim that reconversion into Sanatana Dharma is illegal. So, in such a situation, we won't be able to rescue our people who got trapped due to religious conversion. So, we are a little uncertain as to how effectively this bill can help in fighting conversions that are achieved through brainwashing and through love trap. The only long lasting solution is to have the right awareness about these religions and about Sanatana Dharma.
That is very well said. It's a double-edged sword, right? So I think the
Yeah.
best long-term solution would be to educate and make our people aware of the real depth of the dharma itself, which is what you are doing at
Yeah,
ABS.
correct. Not just learning about Sanatana Dharma, we have to study about other religions also. Only then we'll be able to bring back
That
people.
is true. Doing a comparative study of all religions
Correct.
without a biased mind, very objective
Exactly.
comparison of all religions is essential, especially at that crucial
Exactly.
age where people are asking questions and they want to seek answers.
Right.
I think that is the right age group that we could introduce.
Yeah, it has to start as early as about 4 or 5 years of age, because if you see Christians or Muslims, they start ingraining their ideology from a very tender age, say 3.5 years. They have their madrasas and Sunday schools, which impart systematic knowledge about their religions. Right or wrong, that is a different question, but they have knowledge about their religion. And by the time they turn adolescents, or by the time they reach high school or college, they stand firm by what they believe in.
Very true. So, how is ABS helping with this? Help us understand what are all the different means in which you're trying to educate.
Yeah, so at Arsha Vidya Samajam, we have adopted an ideological approach which is based on Bharatiya Tarka Shastra. We engage the individual in question in debates. We engage the individual in debates based on the religious ideology they believe in or have converted into. So, say, suppose somebody is converting into Islam or has converted into Islam, the debate with them is based on the Quran and the Hadiths. I mean, the authentic scriptures put forward by Islam. So, these debates are based on the arguments put forward by these respective religions or ideologies and their authentic religious books. We disprove their claims using the intellect and Ishvara Buddhi that God has naturally gifted all of us with. We give them an insight into the histories and background of these ideologies. And through this itself, they'll realize the rights and wrongs of what they believe in. This is called comparative religion. We dissect other religions unbiasedly, just like Deepti ji said just now. Not based on the claims of its followers or ruthless critics, but from the texts that they themselves claim to be authentic. That is using Tyajya Grahya Buddhi, which is accept what is right and reject what is not right. That's how we guide them back. And then we teach them Sanatana Dharma. And in order to unmask their fallacies, a very extensive study and research is necessary. That's what Arsha Vidya Samajam does.
So, is this? Do you have tie-ups with schools, or how do you actually spread this message?
Right now, we're an independent institution. We are based in Trivandrum. For the past we established in 1999, and for the past more than 22 years, we've been functioning out of rented premises. We don't have a center of our own. So we are functioning from the limits of these premises. We have courses on different levels which we offer for students who come here to study. But after the corona situation, we have been providing these courses online and offline also. So we conduct camps, courses, etc. But we are planning to do it more extensively by making more courses available for people throughout the world in different languages.
Yeah. So, Vishali ji, everyone that we spoke to today, Shruti, Anagha, and you, have all reconverted from Islam back to Sanatan Dharma. Do you have any estimate about Christianity? Like that Christianity also is an equally proselytizing religion. So, what is the percentage of people or girls that have converted to Christianity and back?
Deeptiji, see, although the rate of conversions into Christianity is higher in the neighboring states like Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, but throughout Kerala, Christianity has created a benign reputation about itself. That is, they have generated many crypto Christians out of Hindus through their various service activities like hospitals, their convent education, etc. Which means such people still have Hindu names, but they are Christians. They're basically living as Christians. They call themselves Christians. And they have the Christian missionaries have brought in a significant shift in many Hindus that they have started now visiting churches instead of temples. Like instead of Hindus visit churches instead of temples. It has become so common now. And another striking fact is that in most of these conversions into Christianity, the whole family itself converts. So, see, if any one member from a family converts, others from the family will want to try to bring them back. But if the whole family converts, there's nobody to bring them back. There's nobody attempting to bring them back. So that is the case. That is what happens with Christianity. So yet we have been able to bring back more than 500 people in in our experience so far who had converted into Christianity, and two of them are our full-time pracharikas now. One of them is Shanti Krishna. She has written a book describing her experience of converting into Christianity and how she returned to Sanatana Dharma through Asha Vidya Samajam. This is her book. It's titled Reborn. And we have dealt with many such cases, and most of them were highly educated and from affluent families. We had doctors, engineers, scientists, teachers, many such people who converted to Christianity. So the point here is Christians are attempting mass conversion. In fact, they are converting more vigorously than the Muslims are. And when whole families convert, it is difficult to bring them back. So in order to overcome this, we have to create an organizational network reaching up to the grassroots levels so as to be able to reach every home and bring back families who convert en masse. I think that's the only way we can prevent Christian conversion.
So if you look at the conversion demographics, the South is definitely more converted to Abrahamic religions than the North, despite the region being relatively safe from invasions in the past millennia. So what do you think accounts for this? Why are the Hindus in the North not converting at the same rate than the ones in the South?
We can't say that conversion rate in North is not as much as in the South, because we shouldn't forget that the North has faced a lot of conversions. The formation of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh itself is a result of religious conversions, right? A huge part of North India was lost due to conversions. And even today, we are starting to lose parts of Northeast India due to religious conversions. In many rural areas of the North, Christian missionaries are actively converting people by associating with the Naxal groups. So it would be unjust to say that North is relatively safe from conversions. Not before too late, the North is also heading towards a great shock. But of course, since the Hindus in the North are in general more aware, and since there are several states whose governments are favorable to Hindus, the conversion forces haven't been able to intensify their activities in the present scenario, because both due to the central and their state governments. And the atmosphere of partition and symbols of Muslim invasions can be seen in the villages of North India even now. So they're still vigilant and they're still aware. Hence, they haven't been able to grow their power. That's what we can say. Coming to the south, the states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Telangana in particular haven't come to the national forefront. They are in opposition with the national mainstream. And the Christian missionaries and caste politics have played a huge role in this. That is creating a separatism between the center and state. So, and Hindutva is yet to reach these states, and its real Hindutva is yet to reach these states. They have faced the harmful consequences of conservatism and caste supremacy also, these southern states, especially Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Telangana. And similarly, Naxalism, communism, atheism have distanced people from blending with the national mainstream. But we have to remember that when the North was facing the dire consequences of conversions, it was the South that showed the right way. That is, the revolution led by Sri Adi Shankaracharya originated from the South. The Shaiva Siddhars, who had taken proactive steps to overcome the influence of Jainism and Christianity. The Siddhas of Tamil Nadu, who were successful in converting even the Christian missionaries into Hindu Dharma. But sadly, today, due to lack of knowledge about our rich history and Hindutva awareness, missionaries are able to easily convert Hindus. And the only permanent solution is to create the right awareness amongst our people and organize them.
Very true. So, caste, for better or worse, is a lived reality in India. So, do you know if conversions are happening within specific varnas or jatis? If so, why?
Conversions are not probably in the olden days it might have been, but see, jati, it's a social reality. You can't escape that right now. It has its advantages and disadvantages, but it is high time we get rid of discrimination based on caste supremacy and feelings of caste inequality, because it has always been detrimental. It has always been detrimental to us. However, the unity of certain caste-based associations is helping in resisting religious conversions to a certain extent. Some caste-based associations are helping to a certain extent. But religious conversions are to be overcome through the right awareness about Sanatana Dharma. But since such a change is still making a beginning, at least until then, these Jati associations are often able to prevent their people from converting into other religions, which is a good thing. But this shouldn't be misused beyond a certain extent. We have to bring in unity based on caste, and we have to bring in unity beyond caste, and which is based on Ishvara, Guru Paramparas, and Sanatana Dharma. Now, coming to the trend of conversion, people who are getting converted are not from any particular jati. Everyone is equally vulnerable, irrespective of whether they belong to so-called upper caste or lower caste. Not just jati, conversions are taking place regardless of educational background, profession, regardless of everything. Basically, anybody is equally vulnerable to conversion these days. It has reached such an alarming stage now.
That's very true. I had a very curious question. Like, have you seen conversions happen between Islam and Christianity? Like a Muslim converting to a Christian faith or the vice versa?
We have seen cases of Christians converting into Islam. You might know the case of Sonia Sebastian from Kerala, who converted into Islam, and she eventually joined the IS. She is now in the IS. That is the case of conversion from Christianity to Islam. However, conversions are happening between all religions, say Hinduism to Islam, Islam to Christianity, Christianity to Islam, basically between all religions. But the proportion of it is very less. The highest number of conversions is from Hinduism into other religions.
Yeah, because I think, like you mentioned, Hindus are low-hanging fruit because we ourselves are so loosely connected to our faith. We don't know where to go to for answers, and that makes it very easy for us to get drawn to other faiths as well. So thank you so much.
The difference is very huge.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. Difference is very huge.
And also, I think, do you think there is also an element of like political power involved? Like, if someone were to try to convert out of one of the Abrahamic faiths into another Abrahamic faith, there would also be some political power at play that would prevent it, or do you think that would also be?
Not just political. Yeah, not just political power. Their religious system itself prevents somebody from converting into another religion. For example, in Islam, they have strict they have a strict rule that there is a concept that anybody who leaves Islam or somebody who converts out of Islam is called a murtad, and murtads are can be killed anywhere, and any means can be used to kill them.
Okay.
So anybody who abandons his faith anybody who becomes non-Muslim should be killed. And that fear of being killed, that fear of being oppressed by his society or his people, keeps people from converting out of Islam.
Well, versus in Hinduism, we don't have anything like that, right? That I think by nature shows the open and accepting nature of Sanatan Dharma.
Right.
Thank you so much, Vishali ji. This was very, very informative. And thank you so much for sharing your experiences and also what Arshavidya Samajam is doing. So let me move to Shruti now. Shruti, I know that you had mentioned you've written a book about your experiences. Could you tell us a little bit more about what motivated you to write this book and a little bit about the book itself?
The whole experience of mine is explained in the book. And when I converted to Islam, I was having I was having hatred towards my mother religion, our Hindu Dharma, Sanatana Dharma. And I was having hatred towards our country, our nation. And I told you that earlier when they were teaching me at Ponnani that this is not our land, this is land of Hindu people, likewise they taught, it increased. And I was thinking to move away from our nation. And I was having very, hatred towards our culture and the cultural heritage of our Bharat. Likewise, all these came to, all these hatred and angry and intolerance every negative approach towards our nation, our culture, our history, and our dharma, everything came to me and attacked my mind and brain just because of the ideology which is caught me, right? So there are lots of people under clutches of these Islamic ideologies or Semitic ideologies, and standing against to their family, standing against to the nation, standing against to the ideologies, philosophy of everything uh, what origined here in our Bharat, and what all things are related to Bharat and the culture of it, and what is all things related to dharma, of people who convert to Semitic religions, all of a sudden changing their attitude and becoming arrogant enemies to all these things. Why all these things happening all of a sudden? That should be known to all people, that all people should understand this is not people in Islam or people in Christianity who makes harm to the society. It is the ideology which harm the human being. I won't blame any ISIS terrorist. I won't blame any Taliban people, because all these Talibanists and all these ISIS people are under clutches and all are brainwashed by all these ideologies. So this ideology is the wrong one, and nobody is supposed to accept that. For that, what we should do? We should expose what is the reality. Why all this conversion and everything happening? Because people don't know what is the real Islam is, and what is real Sanatana Dharma in other side. Why our Sanatana Dharma is eternal, and what is the real ideologies and philosophies and concept of God, concept of life in our Sanatana Dharma, that should be known to all people. And what our ancestors, our Rishi Paramparas did in our Bharat, how they could achieve success in spreading Sanatana Dharma, and how we are living in Bharat like Hindus very safely, because of their bravery and because of their hard work. All these things, all this history, all these philosophies, everything, every people should know. So for that, experienced fellows should come in front. So this inspired me, and I thought to explain, I thought to tell my story to the entire world. So only I wrote this book. I was having guilty. I told you, no, while I was following Islam, what all things I was doing, spitting in front of temple courtyard, beating my mother, and lots of things against our dharma. I was a very bad way interpreting Shivalinga and other idols in our Hindu dharma. No? So I have to do. I had a repentance in my mind. So I have to do something to my society. I have to do something to my dharma. I did wrong. I have to correct. I should work in a correct path. My Guruji showed me a right path, righteous path. I have to do something righteous to others. I realized the truth, and I should make others to realize. I should help them. They also why all these conversions are happening? Just because we are unaware about our darshanas, we are unaware about our histories, we are making role models, we are learning histories like Alexander the Great in history, in school education, college education. We are learning Alexander the Great, how he became great. He is from outside India. There is no people, there is no man in India who are qualified, deserve to be called as heroes. We are calling watch Superman and Spider-Man like movies. Why don't we make them watch Panipat, and why don't we make them watch the real heroes of our Bharat? Lots of heroes are there. Why don't we teach our children to make Rani Padmini, Rani Jhansi Rani to make their role models. They were warriors, brave warriors. We have to teach them now. So what should we do? We should expose the reality. What is the real face of the religion of peace? So-called peaceful religion, and there is no peace at all. And what is reality regarding Sanatana Dharma? These all things are misinterpreted, and this is the truth that we have to say. For that, experienced ones should confront. So this inspired me, and so I wrote my book, Story of Reversion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I think everyone should read this book to understand. And this book comes from experience, so it's not just theoretical by reading. So you've actually practiced both the faiths. So thank you so much for.
Yeah, I explained how I could convert to Islam and how I could come back to Sanatana Dharma. I was getting all the answers for the questions I was having since childhood. No, so all those questions got answered, and that whole thing I explained in this, narrated in this. So both side is there.
Very nice. Thank you.